Hello, this is Matt Sorensen with Midland GIS. This demonstration will be focusing on the buffer and mailing labels functionality that's built into our Integrity WebGIS platform. So for starters, once you locate, let's say the first buffer I'm going to do is just locating a parcel. I'm going to buffer off of an actual known property boundary. So the first thing you need to do is just simply identify that one parcel. So we're just going to use this particular open lot right here, let's say, for rezoning, ordinance, or what have you. First I just need to identify that parcel. So I clicked on the identify tool and identified it. You're going to see it over here on the left. Next I'll just go ahead and click on under the identify results. I will click on the parcel, and what that does, it actually selects it. You can see a red boundary line around that property. And now if I just want to buffer, let's say I want to do a 185-foot buffer around this particular parcel, I will, under the identify results right here, I will click on the panel action menu. It gives us a drop-down menu, and you can see it'll show an option will say show buffer options. So I can click on that, and it's going to open the buffer options window here. This is where I can actually enter in the distance I want it to buffer from that property boundary. It's going to get the units, it defaults to feet. And then I do have an option to actually write the buffer that it's going to create to the drawing layer. So if I want to actually have that in there, that I can actually see that buffer boundary, I just check that box and then click continue. And it just takes it a second. It'll show here, you can see where it now has created a buffer of 185 feet around that parcel, and it gives me the identifier results. So it actually found a road, but then also found several parcels that are within that 185-foot buffer. At this point, I can go back to my panel action menu here and run a report. So if I click on run a report, this will give me the option to create mailing labels. So let's just say I want to do a 3-column mailing label. Click that, and then I can just simply click download report. And in this case, it actually put the PDF all the way down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It created that PDF mailing label report. I just need to click on that, and it will open up the 3-column mailing labels for those properties that were within 185 feet of the one that I identified. So then I can just simply send this to a printer. Let's go ahead and close that tab. Click done. Let's go ahead and close out of all of these windows here. And since I told it to write that in as a markup, that buffer, it's still in there. Yeah, simply the quick way to get rid of that is you go to your tasks tab up here, because it is a markup. So it's all I have to do is click clear and OK, and then it'll get rid of that buffer. But let's say you're wanting to, if you wanted to print that out to actually have a map showing that buffer, you could do that at that point as well. Now, there are other ways to actually buffer. So what I did here was I actually identified a parcel and buffered from that property boundary. However, let's say if you want to do more of a manual selection to create mailing labels or to buffer, I can go to the analysis tab here, and let's say I want to just identify, let's say I want to create mailing labels for just these properties right here in this cul-de-sac on Cove View Court. So I can simply just go to my identify by polygon under the analysis tab, and I can just simply click, and as long as I cross the parcel, and then I go back to the beginning and double click, and it's just going to identify those parcels. And so, but basically I've just manually selected or identified those parcels, and then I can go back to my panel action menu, run a report, and click my mailing labels. I can also do 2-column. I'll go ahead and pick that one this time. Click download report file. There's the PDF down here in the bottom. I'm using Google Chrome browser, so I think it's sometimes it'll just kick it down here in the bottom left-hand corner in this web browser. Click on that, and there's my 2-column mailing labels for those parcels that I've manually identified. And lastly, the other way to actually run a buffer, you're going to notice here under the Analysis tab for these different ways to identify. Here, let me close that out. You're going to see where it actually gives you the Enable Buffering option here. So what I could do is if I just wanted to draw a polyline, actually just a line, let's just say we're going to, city or the county, you're going to be doing the road work for this subdivision from this intersection to here, or utility work, and you're wanting to notify, or for construction easements or what have you, 100 feet left and right, or let's say 50 feet left and right of a line that I draw in here. So I can actually go to Analysis tab, click on the Identify by Line, and I want to go ahead and say Enable Buffering for this line that I draw. So I'll go ahead and click that. Let's go ahead and make the distance, let's see, 50 feet. So it'll be 50 feet left and right of the line that I draw. So we'll start, let's just start it right there. And so I'm just going to click along that road the best I can. And then go up here to double click. And I told it to, I had that, keep that right, that buffer layer in there so I can actually see it. So you can see where based off that line that I've drawn, it created a 50-foot buffer left and right of that line, and it has identified, all the properties that are within 50 feet left and right. So at this point, once again, I can go to my Identify Results window. I can click on the Panel Action menu. I can click Run a Report and click on Mailing Labels. And it generates that download report file, throws it down here. Click on that, and there's all the property owners along that road, 50 feet left and right of that line that I drew. So that was the quick demonstration of the buffer tool and mailing label report tool that's built into our website. Thank you.